We are live. Let's get it going. Let's see. Is the resolution bad? No, not so bad. Should have cleaned my wet palette. What can you do? Damon Bradshaw and Levi Smith, they're in the chat. Welcome, guys. You guys are first. Pat yourselves on the back. Quick reflexes on the click. Welcome. Everything looks good. No lag or resolution issues. I like to hear that. That is what we aim for. So I'm actually working on a leveling up of the streaming system where I'm going to be going on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but we're not there yet. So I'm a little bit late today, guys. I'm gonna as a regular thing stream it Thursday at 12, and maybe I'm gonna choose another time as well. But I'm a little bit late today. Forgive me for that, but we're here now, right? So thanks for tuning in, guys. And as you can see, I've got a Grail Knight champion here for my Bretonnians, and I'm trying to figure out what colors I should paint this guy. I'm leaning pretty heavily towards black and yellow. But still thinking. And what I like to do often when I'm not sure about a color scheme is I like to paint in the pieces that are obvious first. So I'll probably start this stream off by painting in some armor colors, and that'll give me a good sense of what's actually left in terms of fabric. Although I'm pretty familiar with these knights, I kind of know what I'm getting into. Got a horse here as well. Nice little horse. I suppose I could have filled this gap in here with some putty, but what's the point of that, right? It's not like I don't know it's a model, hey? Sean Hargis says that Tomb King is looking really both live and French. What does that mean? Does the stream title say Tomb Kings for you guys? Because it shouldn't. It should just say live painting and hanging out. Cloudy Days says, I wonder where this Bretonnian knight keeps his other sword. He's only got one scabbard. Would you look at that? Now that could be... You know what? I think that's my fault. I think that the legs that are supposed to go with this guy actually have like a lance normally attached to them. But those lance legs are really rare. And so he's got two swords and one scabbard. What can I say? That's the way of the road sometimes. Narb Makes says the thumbnail said Tomb Kings. Uh-oh. Alright, give me a moment, guys. I forgot about the thumbnail. I'm a little scatterbrained today. A little scatterbrained. Oh, do I have to upload a different thumbnail? Oh, geez. Alright, guys. Let me just find a picture of a Bretonnian something or other to put as the thumbnail. You guys are here to see behind the scenes, right? You guys want to see me struggle while I'm live? That's what you guys are here for, right? So the title, okay, I figured out what I did. I fixed the title, but I didn't change the thumbnail from the old stream. So my bad, guys. My bad. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I suppose I could just keep painting Tomb Kings today, and then I wouldn't have to change it, right? Oh. Where's the fun in that? No, I kind of want to paint this guy. Alright, I'm going to change the thumbnail to a Bretonnian. so I don't clickbait you guys. Barbarous Bloodshed, hello again. Welcome, welcome. Ken L says black and gold, for gold is glorious. Yes, Blinded by Daylight. Yes, I am live. You are right. You caught it live. Michael Makemore says it's a very, very young Tomb King. Yeah, you know, some people say that what the Mucilon faction is what happened to Bretonnia in Age of Sigmar. I can't, or the Flesh Eater Courts. Flesh Eater Courts are Bretonnia and Age of Sigmar, and I think that's not funny. Shouldn't joke about those things. Alright, now what if I just put a thumbnail? That's really bad. I shouldn't do that. Alright, you know what, guys? You can probably tell I'm a little scatterbrained today. That's why we've got bad thumbnail, no thumbnail. We're late getting started, but you know what? Better late than never, right? Okay, let's start with some silver on this bad boy. I'm going to use my favorite Vallejo Air Metal. This is my new favorite metallic paint. Me being a guy who knows nothing about third-party paints except for this one, I approve. I approve of this paint. Shout out to my brother for recommending it. Mini Warmonger says 500 late, your bait got me. Or is that supposed to be an S? Like, so late, your bait got me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to clickbait, but it is what it is. What can you do? What can you do? Sometimes you just got to go live, guys. Guys, I think I poisoned myself last night, and that's why I'm a little bit off. Okay, I was working with polymer clay. Let me just this stuff here, polymer clay. Okay, time for the first rant of the stream, nice and early. All right, see this Sculpey? This is polymer clay, super Sculpey. It is so from what I understand. Now keep in mind, I'm not a scientist, far from it. But from what I understand, Super Sculpey is a polymer clay, which means it's like a PVC sort of... I shouldn't even try to explain it. But there is a chemical softener in it. There is something called a phthalate, which is PTHALATE, phthalates, okay? And these are plastic softeners. So... and they're regulated when they use them in children's toys. Like, if you ever seen those little dolls that have like the soft rubbery skin, that's from phthalates. And I think like you know, several years ago they seized a huge order of these realistic skin dolls at the border because they had these phthalate compounds in them that are harmful to babies, harmful to children, harmful to adult male reproductive systems, harmful to pregnant women. Just overall bad stuff. And I've been using a ton of this stuff because I'm working on some special projects that use this stuff. It seems like in a lot of ways a miracle product. Like, you sculpt it and then you bake it, and then it doesn't shrink, it doesn't contract. It's just hardens in the shape that you made it, and it's really useful stuff. And I've been using a lot of it. And the instructions on the package say, yeah, bake in a well-ventilated area. They say wash your hands after use. But it still says it's non-toxic and children's safe. But it's fake news. It's not non-toxic if you can't breathe the fumes. Like, the fact is, you bake it in your home oven, okay? You're supposed to bake... Like, who realistically, who goes to a craft store and has a separate devoted hobby oven, okay? Nobody. But you're supposed to bake it in your home oven, and you're also not supposed to breathe the fumes that come off when you're baking it. So what? Like, you're just supposed to fumigate your kitchen with toxic fumes? Like, I'm pretty annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty annoyed about this product, because I baked a huge chunk of it last night, and it says, you know, do not overheat, and I didn't overheat it. I just used it exactly as you're supposed to on the package. And I wasn't even sitting in the same room as it. I was down here. The kitchen's upstairs, at the top of the stairs. And there were like all these fumes coming down here. I had the windows open in the kitchen. But I guess that wasn't well ventilated enough because I started to get dizzy, I started to get lightheaded, I started to feel really nauseous, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't. And then I went upstairs, and the kitchen just stank of Sculpey, and I kind of freaked out, and yeah, that might be the end of me, guys. I might have done it. Blinded by Daylight asks, "Is it Super Sculpey original?" Yeah, Super Sculpey original, the flesh colored one. And you know, I found this paper that was a report on phthalates in consumer products, and specifically polymer clays. And they said that Fimo clay is much worse in terms of that, but Sculpey still has a significant amount. It's like something like it's polymer clays can be up to 25% phthalates. So it's not just from baking it, it's also from touching it with your hands and then eating food. You can get like a hyperdose of these things, and they're really bad for you. And I feel off today. I feel terrible. And so this is what I do. I poison myself, and then I live stream, guys. And then you get this high quality rants. Yeah, Kids Creek Hobbies says, "Rest in peace, stream." Yeah. Yeah. If I die live on stream, you guys will be witnesses for it. No, I think I'm going to be fine, but I'm still... They put me in a really bad mood, I'm not going to lie. Tom Roberts says, "The stove fan built into most hoods should do the job." So I don't actually have a hood in this house. I mean, I have one in the garage, but it's not installed. My kitchen's kind of a weird layout here. We're planning to eventually redo the kitchen in this place, but that's not happening anytime soon. So, but I'm certainly not going to take the stuff for granted anymore. Michael Make More says, Sculpey doing the old bait and switch. There's a lot of that going around. Are you guys still teasing me about the thumbnail being a Tomb King and then I'm painting a Bretonnian? Thumbnail should now be a bad, ill-fitting picture of a Bretonnian. Can anyone who just came in confirm or deny that that's the case? That the thumbnail is now... Sean Hargis says, "If you die, can you bequeath me your Tomb Kings?" You should know better than that, Sean. If I die, I'm being buried with all my Warhammer, just like an Egyptian pharaoh, okay? I'm going to be sealed up in a stone tomb with all of my earthly possessions, with my advisors buried around me. And if you want my Tomb Kings, you're going to have to rob my grave, dude. No, I'm not going to die, guys. I'm not going to die. If anything, I'm going to live on with a severely reduced quality of life. And just rant about it on stream for you guys. Nick Strub says, "Eric, hi Eric, how was your day?" Well, not too bad, apart from poisoning myself last night, but again, I'm probably overblowing it. It's probably not that big of a deal. The studies where it does all these bad things to mice and rats, this is the Super Sculpey fumes, they're probably in like hyperdoses. Like they're probably feeding these rats like a diet of Sculpey or something like that. And I didn't eat any. I just breathed some of the fumes and felt not very good. But you know what? It's my stream. Ranting is my prerogative, right? Nick Strub says, "Thumbnail seems okay." Alright, thanks, Nick. Kyle Seeley says, "Thumbnail is indeed now a Bretonnian." Hi Eric, long time no see. Did you stream on Twitch all this time? No, I have not been streaming on Twitch all this time. Last time I streamed was 1 week ago today, and around this time. But I'm still in the infancy of streaming. I plan to do a multi-stream, streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And I'm working on that, guys. I am working on that. I'm trying to upgrade my setup as well as negotiate some deals, as well as get some not have all my ongoing projects fly off the rails. And I'm working on quite a few very ambitious build projects. So it's a really busy time, but I do like to take some time to jump on the stream with you guys, chat, hang out, and paint some minis, because it's very rewarding thing to do. Brian Walsh says, "Feel brother Eric, love your terrain videos, huge inspiration. My parents have kindly asked me to remove the volume of spare parts, hobby detritus, and homeless kittens from their attic next week." Well, at least you got a week, Brian. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. Barbarous Bloodshed says it's not a big deal. Been using that stuff for over 10 years. Don't worry, even when you overbake it, it's not very harmful. Not good, but not fall over dead bad. Well, you know, I appreciate the reassurance. That's nice. You know, just because you've been doing something, you know, just because you've been doing something for a long time doesn't mean that it's not necessarily bad for you. But I do appreciate the encouragement. You know, there doesn't seem to be an academic epidemic in. Listen to me, guys. I'm stuttering. That's proof, right? There doesn't seem to be, you know, hobbyers dropping dead left, right, and center from this stuff. So that's comforting. But still didn't feel good last night. I gotta tell you guys. But thank you for your words of support. YouTube says, Eric, will you explain your hatred for Eric? Yeah, that's like no, I don't want to explain. It's just like some creepy thing that happened. I was on yeah, I might as well tell you again. I was on chat roulette when I was a kid. Maybe 10 years ago, so I wasn't like a young kid, but somebody came on with a black screen and just said Eric, and then they logged off. And so it could have been like in the chat they just wrote Eric question mark, and then they left the thing, and it really bothered me because it could have been anybody, and that's all there is to that. And then people started doing that in the chat like crazy after I told that on stream, so I said that I'll ban you if you do that, and of course that makes the troublemakers even more encouraged to do it. But you know, it's my stream. I can rule with an iron fist if I like. Bill Making Stuff is in the chat. Hey Bill, he says, where you been? I've been down here. I've been poisoning myself and working on some top secret projects, and I'm finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel on some really labor intensive projects. Guys, here's a cool hobby reminder for you guys. I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming video, but I did like a video where, you know, I like to scratch build stuff. And so there's a scratch built component where I made essentially, and I don't want to get too into it because it's coming up in a video, but I made something small from scratch that I replicated, and then I replicated it again because it's a repeating pattern in the process across the project. And so a little bit of basic arithmetic could have saved me so much grief and maybe had me make a different decision for this project, because I did not realize how many times I had to replicate this one thing. And when it wasn't so labor intensive to do it once or twice, when you have to do it like 40 times or something, it adds up. It adds up quickly, and it was a real grind to get through that. But once I started, I kind of had to finish. But always, guys, when in doubt, take out a calculator at the beginning of your project and say, how long is this actually going to take me if I use these techniques the whole way through? Because you might be surprised. Yeah, Narb, thank you for keeping Bill updated. Super Sculpey is poisonous. If you touch it with your hands and then eat it, it's not good. It's not even eat it. If you just touch it with your bare hands and then you eat food, it's not good. Yeah, I mean, just look up the safety data sheets, guys. You'll see. They say it's non-toxic. They say it's for kids, but then you look at what they actually tell you, the handling instructions. It's not so child-friendly. So, just a little word of warning. YouTube, a little poison just strengthens you. I've been eating rat poison for years. Inconceivable. Yeah, I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except for the things that, you know, like a back injury. If you injure your back, you're just hobbled for life, right? Like, that doesn't make you stronger, guys. Just because something has a catchy saying that goes along with it doesn't mean it's necessarily true. You gotta watch for those. Matt Appleby says Eric is a pretty cool guy, and apparently he doesn't afraid of anything. Well, I do afraid of some things. I got to admit. Torture. I have a phobia of torture. Is that like? Is that even a phobia, or is that just like a natural human aversion? Because like, I mean, yeah. I had this crazy dream last night though, guys, where I was in this like giant old hotel, and it was like a 5, 6 story hotel, but like every story had like grand high ceilings, and then it was like right on the water, like this lake, and there was this sort of like dark black water swirling beneath it, and it was, the hotel was haunted, so people were jumping off like the 5th floor, like down into the water to escape. And like I kind of chickened out from jumping, so I like went down through the hotel, and then I ran into this kid, and he turned out to be a ghost, and it was just a really messed up dream, and I woke up feeling kind of freaked out. Sean Hargis says cathisphobia. Is that the fear of torture? I'll have to look that one up. Bill, I think we're all afraid of torture, right? Shouldn't we all be? Barbarous Bloodshed. Eric, tell us, did you have a look at War Gods of Egyptus? Yeah, I did actually. I took a quick look. I didn't really go in depth, but I saw there's some sort of is there a catch-all term for the Egyptian figures that have a head of an animal? I saw there were some guys like that. And the sculpts had kind of a cool old school feel to them, so they look pretty neat. I think I'll have to look further into that. Imtoa said, did you watch The Shining? Because that's what your dream reminds me of. No, I didn't watch The Shining. I haven't watched The Shining in many years. But it wasn't very shining-y, the dream. Like in The Shining, they're supposed to be alone in the hotel. So as soon as they encounter those little girls, they know something's up. Like it's instantly creepy, right? But this was like, the hotel had people in it. So, I mean, it was kind of like run down. But when I ran into this kid, I did not realize he was a ghost until like well into my conversation with him. It kind of dawned on me, and it was really spooky. You know, sometimes I feel like my dreams would be the best horror movies, like my scary dreams, but then I wake up and just start forgetting them instantly. My brother said something really profound when he was a kid about dreams, and he said that it's like the way you remember dreams is like when you wake up, it's like you have a puzzle, like a picture puzzle finished on the table, and then someone starts taking away the pieces one by one, which is a really good way of describing how your dreams kind of just fade even as you're thinking of them. Like you start forgetting what just happened. So yeah, I mean, I felt like that happening as I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on in my dream. I think actually what it was is like my fear of dark water and like deep water and like jumping into water and having it be not as deep as I thought, or there'd be like a sea monster under there. It just overcame my fear of like, you know, a spooky hotel. So I was like, I'll just walk down the stairs. Whatever. And then there was also some like temporal displacement thing going on where like when I got to the floor, like I think my original intention was to just go down like 2 stories so I could jump off from like maybe the 3rd floor instead of the 5th floor. And when I got down there, like the view was not the same that you would expect it to be. And that really messed with me. And then I realized I was having a conversation with this guy who was a ghost. Good times, good times. Sean Hargis asks, if you don't mind me asking, older or younger brother? I have one older brother whom I don't associate with. This was my older brother who said this, but I have both. I have older and younger brothers. I'm sorry to hear that you don't have a good relationship with your brother. I definitely did not have a good relationship with my oldest brother when we were young, because we used to have this thing where he would beat me up and I'd make fun of him, and now we get along great. I talk to him on the phone once or twice a week. We talk about Warhammer, talk about life. It's really nice, and it's so I don't know what's going on with your relationship, but if it is repairable, then I wish you the best of luck in that moving forward. Nelson Hickman said that's what made H.P. Lovecraft such a good horror writer. He had night terrors and would write them down, so he developed them into proper stories, so they weren't just literally his dreams. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. I bought a book of Lovecraft short stories about a year ago, and I was reading them, and they do have that nightmarish quality to them, where you can't put your finger on. Like, nightmares never really have good world building. They kind of just drop you in, and you have like a feel for it, and that's kind of how a lot of Lovecraft's stories felt to me. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that. Hey, Leaf here from Devs and Dice. Hey, Eric's Hobby Workshop. Good time to drop in. Talking about dreams or thalassophobia? Yeah, a little bit. Talking about dreams and the one I had last night specifically. I was talking about it. Yeah. Gregory John said tips for starting a hobby channel. Well, for one, it depends what you want to get out of it. If you just want to share your work, then just do it, you know. If you want people to watch your videos and try to get like a lot of numbers, then you need to be pretty conscious of your editing, I think. There's a lot of really good projects that people make, and then they're not edited into good videos, and you know, people won't necessarily watch them, and they might respond better to seeing your project on Instagram or something if you just wanted to share your content. But generally, I would say just get started, just get going, and you learn by doing, really, on YouTube. So if your first couple videos aren't bangers, at least you'll get to know the software. You'll get to know what it's like to upload a video. You'll get some reps in editing a video. And so I would encourage you to just get going and just start posting. See what happens, you know? My first video on the channel, I don't know if you guys have seen it, it's like me unboxing a bag of stuff. And I already was working on something else at the time, but like I just thought I'll just do a trial run with this bag of stuff that I have. And so I did. And it's not a good video, not in the slightest. But I'm glad I did it before I did my second video, because I just kind of knew what to expect when I posted a video after that, in terms of the messages you'd be getting from the software, in terms of how long it takes to upload a video and what that looks like. And so yeah, I would say just get going if you want to do it. Don't overthink it. There's always time to fine-tune it later. Nick Strobe says, that's really true. Miniac edits like a beast. Yeah, Scott's not just a good editor. He does, like, everything is really, really, really polished. Like, his lighting is really fantastic. And his scripts are really tight. And it's just, the production in general is really, really high with Miniac. He's really good at that. But that can become a double-edged sword. Like, sometimes you get caught in this sort of paradigm of wanting to outdo yourself all the time, and it can get in the way of just making videos that people still enjoy. And I definitely find myself falling into that sometimes. I mean, the best... Like, there's nothing worse than, like, seeing when you've spent, you know, tens of hours working on a project and then editing it and then trying to add, you know, extra pizzazz to it, taking all this time, and then the video doesn't do well. It really sucks. And then you see somebody who's done a reaction video where they literally just logged in and just spoke off the top of their head and then clicked upload, and their video does, like, a lot better. That can be really painful. So there's definitely trade-offs in the time that you put into your videos and the results you get out of it. You have to kind of strike a balance. Like, you got to do something. If you're going to have a channel that's a ongoing thing where you're making videos all the time, well, you can't kill yourself on every video, and a lot of creators do that, and it just leads to burnout. It's a one-way street to burnout. And I know you guys probably think, how can you get burned out doing what you love? And it's like, well, it's because you pour everything into a video and you feel great about it, and you post it, and then a week later you're supposed to put everything into the next video, and after a certain point your body will just naturally sort of have its own lull, I suppose, and say, you know, I can't actually improve at the rate that you're asking me to improve. So maybe you'll have one that's not as good or something, and then that'll feel really bad. And it's a whole psychological game, YouTube is. And the key to what my strategy is I'm just gonna let YouTube do as much mental damage to me as possible, and then I'm gonna cash in on the class action suit when all creators band together in 20 years because they have all these problems from YouTube just mentally destroying them. So my plan is to just go right in, burn out, you know, get messed up, and then cash in, baby. Right? What do you guys think of my plan? Devs and Dice says, that's the easiest way to burn out. You don't usually notice before it's too late. Ain't that the truth? Brian Walsh says, making any hobby a job can destroy the fun. That's true too. That's true too. You gotta really keep, get a careful balance, you know? Dr. Weirdo 80 says, that's a nice gold. That's actually, yeah, this is Retributor armor, and it is behaving nicely today, isn't it? It's kind of surprising. Normally this is not a great gold, and I complain about it. But, Brian Walsh says, no argument, Jefferson Thacker, but compared to the enjoyment we get from one of Eric's videos relative to watching the 50th Astartes reaction video, the Warhammer Plus is going to lead to a big drop-off. I feel like I'm missing the whole context of that conversation, but thank you for saying that you get enjoyment from my videos. I really appreciate that. So my strategy is kind of a quality over quantity strategy, guys. I mean, I could do, I feel like, a lot more quick videos, reaction videos, and the temptation is there sometimes. But first of all, I find that stuff actually distracts from the videos that I want to make, because they still take time to make these sort of throwaway videos. And so it almost becomes a full-time thing where you're making videos that you don't really care about just for clicks, and that can be its own sort of hazard. But I think a lot of the channels that sort of have these viral reaction videos and stuff, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically here, but I'm hoping that what I do sort of stands out on its own, not rather than being the first to a news topic or something like that. Like, I really don't want to compete on those sort of parameters. I'd rather people appreciate me for my unique projects and unique videos and things like that, and hope to resonate with the audience that way, if that makes sense. That's kind of my approach. But there's nothing wrong with people who do that. Some people are like Auspex Tactics. Like, that guy releases like 20 videos a day, and it's just PowerPoint and him talking in his, like, you know, his ASMR sort of voice or whatever. And that guy's absolutely crushing it. Like, he must literally sit there reading the news and then go, okay, it's time to make a video about this, and then let's put together a PowerPoint. You know, let's get together a couple JPEGs from the internet, and this is the point I'm going to make. And his production is insanely quick. And a guy like that must not overthink things the way I do. Like, I take a long time to make my videos sometimes, and it's because I don't know, it's because I overthink them. What else can I say? But I totally respect someone who can grind out content like that and just have a video about, you know, like the Space Worlds had a new data sheet and whatever, and just like that afternoon have a video about it and just bang it out. And so there's people that are designed for that niche, and I'm just not one of them. Gregory John says, an Auspex always has the exact video I'm looking for, and I don't know how. Well, here's my theory, that he's actually a highly sophisticated AI, that he's not actually a human being. He's literally just a machine learning algorithm, and you can hear a bit of it in his voice. you know? No, I'm just kidding. I love Auspex Tactus, and I like his voice a lot too. Auspex is hardwired into a gene bath, fed by the whirring and ticking of machines. Nutrients are pipe fed and emotions are surplus to output parameters. You guys are too funny. You guys are too funny. He just sounds like a calm guy who's just, you know. Matt Appleby says, one of the joys of being a lecturer teaching from home this year, no one can stop me adding highlights between lecturing sessions. It's pretty good if you can sneak some extra hobby into your day because you have your new routine. That's great. I personally, you know, I feel like I've lost a lot of the social interaction that my life used to have, and I think it's starting to take its toll on my old sanity, which was not too robust to begin with, guys, if I'm honest. So yeah, I gotta find ways to get out of the house whenever I can these days. Auspex uploaded 37 videos in 2 weeks? God damn! I think that proves that he is at least an augmented human, if indeed he is human. Kitskrieg Hobbies says, Eric, you ever think of trying different genres of the Hummer, e.g. aircraft, armor? You know what I'm likely going to gravitate into is more game agnostic sort of builds. Things that'll still be, like, I'm still going to use them for my war games because that's kind of what I'm into, but like things that are also historical. I think you'll see some of that coming out on my channel soon without too many spoilers, because I think that, you know, heaven forbid there becomes an increasing IP pressure from one source or another, then I'll be covered under, yeah, because what I do, you know, I don't copy copyrighted material in the first place, but you can never be too careful these days. So Lenny007 says, hi Eric. Hi Lenny, welcome to the stream. The algorithm says, it'll come back, Eric. Things are getting better in Ireland and my social life is slowly returning to normal. Hang in there, buddy. Shades. Nice. Yeah, man, I mean, like, the reality is I moved to, so 2 years ago I moved to New York, and then about a couple months ago, like from Toronto, I moved from Toronto to Brooklyn, and then a couple months ago I moved to New Jersey. So when I moved to Brooklyn, I obviously had a lot less friends than I did in Toronto because I grew up in Toronto and my friends were there. And then in Brooklyn I was starting to make friends, and then the whole lockdown thing happened, and now I live in New Jersey and I don't have any friends in New Jersey. Like, I just got here and I don't have any social outlets yet. So back to normal is kind of, it's not just for me. Like, I need to go make some friends. Like, I can't just, you know, if all the lockdowns were to disappear tomorrow, I still wouldn't have anybody to hang out with where I live now. So it's a little bit more nuanced, and I'm sure that's a situation that other people are in as well. I need the lockdowns to end, and then I can go make friends, and then I can hang out with the friends once I've actually made the friends, you know? Terror Dev P says, or Terror de VP says, oh really, we are from NYC and NJ? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. I'm currently in Manhattan, smiley face. Cool, man. Tony Sansonetti asks, any good local game shops in New Jersey? I've been looking around at all the different game shops in New Jersey, trying to figure out which one's going to be my home shop, so to speak. And the best one I found so far is Maplewood Hobbies. Maplewood Hobbies is really cool. They seem to have a cool community of people always painting and building in there. They've got game nights that I haven't made it out to yet, but I will. And they have a ton of just like some hobby shops you go in and they've got like 3 boxes of Warhammer. Maplewood Hobbies has like floor to ceiling old historical models. They've got Perry miniatures. They've got like American Revolution miniatures. They've got like you can buy, you know, you could buy like Hittite cavalry or whatever from ancient times. You could buy airplanes and Tamiya models and all kinds of stuff. So that's the one I like the most. It's not super close to my house. It's like a half-hour drive, but that's worth it sometimes. Plaid PVC Pipes in the chat. Welcome. Good to see you. Matt Appleby says, that's rough, man. Moving to a new city is hard work. Well, don't feel bad for me, because I'm not alone. I live with my wife. My wife is my best friend, and she's wonderful, and we have a great life. So don't feel bad for me. You know, I also... Toronto, I live pretty close to Newark Airport. Like, I could fly to Toronto in an hour, and I got friends there. Do not feel bad for me. Of all the people in the world to feel bad for, I'm not the guy, okay? I've got a great life, and I'm happy. But thank you for your concern. But I'm not trying to do a little pity party here, guys. I'm just telling you what's going on in my life. What are we? I met a French guy through my GF's dance troupe. That's a normal sentence. The good news, he collects Warhammer. The bad news, Dark Eldar player. I've yet to win. Haha. Are the Drukhari still really strong? I thought they got nerfed a little bit. But that's cool, man. That's still fun. It's better to play and lose than to have nobody to play with, I think. Dr. Weirdo 80 says, I'm painting up some golden details right now. Nice, man. Me too. Obviously, I'm not painting very quickly because that's just the nature of streams. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some yellow on this guy. I got to figure out what kind of crest, what kind of arms this guy's going to have. I'm thinking black and yellow, but black and yellow quartered, black and yellow, you know, halved. And then what kind of charges on top of that. Like if I look at this guy, he's got, I'm not even sure what I would call these beasts on his crest. How well can you guys see that? I don't think they're lions. I mean, he's got a fleur-de-lis and a grail. I can always go fleur-de-lis and grail for the charges on the crest. I think I'll do black and yellow quartered. That's always a safe bet. Now, here's the question. Should I just paint the whole thing yellow and then do the black in over top? That's probably not a bad idea. Black covers yellow pretty well. Yeah, let's go with that. And should I try some yellow contrast paint? That's the other question. What do you guys think? Should I do a contrast method or not? Am I frozen? Is it lagging? Those are T-Rexes. Tom Roberts says wyverns. Are those wyverns? They don't have wings. Maybe they're Yales. No, they don't have horns. Griffin, all yellow, black and yellow stripes, sable and argent. You know, sable and gold, or sable and ore. Sable and ore, Dungeon Masterpiece. Black and yellow for sure. If you do yellow over black, it will take forever. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about doing yellow over black. Just to clarify, what I was thinking about is leaving the white, and then I could use like a black contrast paint or something. But that's probably not worth it. Tom Roberts says, I think Severed got it right. Griffins. Laura S says, I vote for contrast. Aaron Jex says, maybe the pink to yellow fade. I don't have an airbrush. I'm not doing a pink undercoat. That's not happening, dude. Although that method looks really cool if I do get an undercoat one day. For my Alpha Legion, I've primed black, airbrushed lead belcher, and then infilling Talisar blues. Saves a ton of time. I've heard this, that people think infilling the panels is quicker than painting the trim on Chaos Marines. I'm having trouble seeing it. I don't know. It doesn't take me that long to paint trim. Maybe I'm just an experienced painter, but I feel like it'd be harder to infill. So you're going for like a metallic finish on those Alpha Legion? Because I noticed Alpha Legion are probably the most commonly done with metallic color Legion or chapter of any of the Marines. Dr. Weirdo 80 says, I want to know how good yellow contrast can look. Well, I'm not sure I'm the guy to do it, but let's give it a go. Let's see what we come up with. I'm shaking it a lot, as you can see, because that's the nature of contrast paints. Let's have at it. Oh, what happened here? What the hell? That's very odd. Very strange. Very, very strange. Huh. Okay. Okay. So the key with contrast paints is to do everything in one. Not be stingy. Try to get it on there before you get any tide lines. And then leave it. Let it do its thing on its own. Is this going to look good? I don't know. We can always clean it up later. Now, I have to kind of concentrate while I'm doing the contrast paints because otherwise they look really bad right away. And this might end up looking bad anyways, but it'll look worse if I try to answer questions in the middle. Alright, big drip is not good. Can we fix that? Or did I just screw it up? Time will tell. Time will tell. Terror to VP says, Eric, have you ever played Super Fantasy Brawl? No, I don't think I have. I don't know what that is. Tell me about it. Let's see if this contrast ends up working out. So guys, the key with the contrast paints, from what I've learned, is to not touch it once it's on. Because if you start pulling around these pools of color, that's when you start getting all the funny marks. And you just gotta let the surfactant do its work. Even if it looks kind of weird to start with, it'll settle a little bit. It's got a bit of a self-leveling sort of thing going on there. But I don't know if this will work very well. To be honest, a big horses caparison like this is not the ideal use case for a contrast paint. Not in the least. But we're trying it. Paint the inside a little bit. Well, it looks kind of bogus so far, but let's not jump to conclusions. Andre Carlson says, damn, I could have sworn that was red paint on the palette. Yeah, it's like an orange on the palette. Take care, Brian. Eric, keep the faith. You're the gold standard in terrain. Everyone else be safe. Well, thank you, Brian. That's very sweet of you. West Side says, it will look amazeballs for sure. Well, West Side. I haven't seen the West Side video in a while, but welcome to the chat, West Side. Chimera Wargaming. Hello, Eric. Hello, Chimera Wargaming. Dr. Weirdo 80 says, which yellow is that? It is Contrast. Iyanden yellow. Iyanden. It's one of those made-up Eldar words that I don't really know how to pronounce. Yeah, contrast paints are... I like them. That's my verdict on contrast paints. They are not what I would call a beginner paint, though. I mean, I don't think to get a good result is necessarily an easy beginner thing, because you need to have the confidence and brush control to go in and lay down the right coat and then leave it alone. Like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fairly quick with a brush because I've been doing this a long time, but if you're not, then it's not going to be as quick and easy for you. And if you need to take your time, then you're going to make a real mess with contrast paints. So that's my verdict. I like them, but I don't consider them very beginner friendly. They're certainly not the painting hack that they have sometimes been purported to be, in my opinion. They're a tool for intermediate painters, I would say. Obviously, once you get to the higher levels, guys like Trovarion say that you shouldn't ever use washes because then you can't control the lighting, and that's fair enough. You know, he gets a really, really high level result on his models, and he's looking for some specific properties. He wants to, you know, shade in every shadow and everything, and a guy like me who's just a terrain guy, just a simple terrain guy, I just want to have some painted models on the terrain when I play. So, different strokes for different folks. I think contrasts are good for getting decent results if you have decent brush control. You can see here I'm getting yellow all over this guy's gauntlets. That's just part of the process. You can always paint over it. This, on the other hand, is worse, where there's already silver on his shoulder. But I'll come back with a different yellow paint and clean that up. That's kind of my my MO, guys, is I make a mess and then clean it up. I don't worry about being neat while I paint. You can get quick results that way. Orange Josiah says, I was pleasantly surprised by how well the yellow contrast worked. Yeah, same, man. Contrast paints are good if you know how to use them. Just to say, you know, if I were to start mucking with that right now, I'd get some of these darker streaks on the raised areas and it would look really bad. And even still, there's like a bit of weirdness going on there where the texture's off. And I'll just clean that up later with like a highlight, but pretty good results for a quick thing to begin with. This one says, ooh, Bretonia, awesome. I've painted all my Cruel Boys so far with contrast paints, and I love them. I do highlight on top occasionally, but it really helps the models that have lots of sculpted details. That's true. Yep, the more texture rich it is, the easier it is to use the contrast paints, because you don't have to manage the weird pooling that you get on flat surfaces sometimes. Like, I'm looking at the horse right now. You guys can't see it, but it doesn't look very good. So I might have to redo that whole thing. But that's neither here nor there. So where's everybody tuning in from today? Can you guys let me know in the chat? I'm curious. Hey, Joseph Hobbs says, thanks for all you do. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. And I'm just painting everything yellow right now, guys. Normally I'd be a little more careful, but one, I'm streaming. Two, I haven't decided what colors these things are going to be. And three, yellow is easy to paint over, so there's pretty low risk here. Okay. Arizona, Washington, D.C., Essex, England, Los Angeles, Cape Town, South Africa, Finland. Cool. Nice mix of UK, Europe, and North America. That's what I like to see. Alright, so as you can see, we have a decent yellow locked in there. You guys want to see the horse? It's not looking so great, I gotta admit. I think I need to leave it right way up while it dries. I get these weird pools. Like, look at this over here. That's no good, but I'll fix that later, so that's okay. Let me just quickly put in this bit of the comparison. You know what? I want to go to like a Renaissance fair and see some live jousting. I think I've seen that once before when I was a kid, but I didn't really care about knights or anything back then. I mean, I thought knights were cool, but I didn't appreciate the pageantry and the history so much. I'm sure there's some really talented painters who are tuning in like, what are you doing? But you know what? There's a method to the madness. You guys will see. Smackakor says, I'd just like to say that I'm really like your challenges and vids, but I'm also very drunk, so I'll watch this later. Keep up the good work you do, my dude. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. Did you hear about the new AOS Old World stuff? They're bringing back a new version with Bretonnia. Is that brand new information? I haven't heard anything about Bretonnia. Is that new information today, guys? There's like a new Bretonnia thing that's been teased? I am not aware of this, if that's true. Somebody tell me in the chat if that's true. New Bretonnia has been teased? I know about the old world, obviously. That's but that's not going to be Age of Sigmar. It's going to be like its own game, right? Oh, Vesperdy says not new today, but there's a map. Right, I've seen that map. That was Louise Sugden was working on that, right? Savage Orc guy on Instagram. I follow her and I saw her posting about that a while ago. And that's great. Like a really detailed map of the old world where they're not keeping that sort of obvious homage to Europe, I think is a good basis for a fantasy setting, because I tend to like the fantasy settings that are a little bit less divorced from the real world. But oh, by the way, you guys want to see something gnarly? I don't know if I should show you that. I've got like a really bad blister here. I don't want to like gross out you squeamish people that are in the chat, but you know, why don't you let me know in the chat if you want to see my blister? Jeez, what am I doing? Bill Making Stuff says, Eric couldn't help it, sorry, which means we're timing him out, guys. Zero tolerance policy for this sort of stuff, Bill. You knew it. I knew it. Timing you out, Bill. Bill Making Stuff has been timed out. Okay, there's not enough people asking to show the blister. I don't think I should show it. Okay, maybe there are. Maybe people do want to see the blister. Maybe I'll show you. Oh, I accidentally showed it anyways. It's right there, guys. It's a mighty blister. Right there. Yeah, guys, look away because I'm going to do a close-up of the blister on the painting cam. Ready? There it is. Hell yeah. You can see it's got, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. That was another oven-baked clay accident. So you can tell I'm not in a good space about my oven-baked clay experiences right now. It is indeed from a burn. I burned myself on the oven while I was putting some oven-baked clay in there. So the reason this happened, guys, I'm a grown man that knows how to use an oven safely, I swear. But it's a little bit different. I have, in my new place, I've got an oven that, I've never had an oven like this before. Every oven I've had growing up has been like an oven door, and then at the bottom there's like a drawer, and you put like, I don't know, baking sheets in there or nothing because everyone hates that drawer. So, you know, my wife and I were buying an oven, and we were like, well, you know, realistically, everyone hates that drawer. What's the point of that drawer? So we got this oven that has actually two ovens, and it's got like two doors, and so they're both small. Not super small, but they're smaller than a normal oven. So the door is essentially, it's just a smaller oven. I wasn't used to it, and I burned my arm on the door. Long story short. So that's what happened there. And yeah, just reaching into the oven, or the hot oven door. Just like the fact is, I mean, you know, a normal person's forearm doesn't stick out like that. Like, they don't have this like insane sort of 3D effect going on. So, you know, it's just one of the hazards of being an absolute beast. I don't know what to say, guys. You know, I'm just an idiot. What can I say? It's life is an IQ test, my mom used to say. And yeah. Kirk Geyer says the point is to keep already cooked food warm in there, I'm pretty sure. No, Kirk, it's not just a warming drawer. Oh, you're talking about... Okay. Let me know in the chat if you use that drawer under the oven as a warming drawer. Does anybody do that? Because I think that's kind of nasty. Plaid PVC Pipe says Sigma grind set. My wife's brother is staying with us right now, and he's 15, and he was telling me about the Sigma grind set, and I have to say that's funny stuff. But yeah. Are you a space marine? Mark Vezin says. No, I'm all natty, bud. Have not undergone any sort of gene enhancement or Rubicon Primaris. Nick Strub says no idea what drawer you're talking about. I'm talking about the one under a normal oven. Like, you got an oven, and then there's that like metal drawer underneath that's right by the floor. Yeah, Steve Famine says, no, I don't use that for anything. GF keeps spare pans there, right? Like, it seemed more like a storage drawer than a warming drawer. Like, putting your food down at floor level just seems kind of gnarly to me. And I'm thinking back to university and the hellhole I lived in for a little bit. Like, there were like mice down there and stuff, so I don't know. It's not appealing to me to do that. But anyways, my current oven does not have that. My current oven is just two ovens stacked on top of each other, and that's how I burn myself. So telling you guys about how I poisoned myself, how I burned myself, about my nightmares. This is an interesting stream today. But as you can see, I haven't had my coffee. I've had it sitting next to me, but I haven't had it yet. So Mitchell Anderson says everyone puts baking trays in there even though we're not supposed to. Says who? You know? I'm my own boss, personally. Have I been dipping my paintbrush in my coffee this whole time? God Convoy says that's the broiler. Definitely not, God Convoy. The broiler is the burner at the top. Steve Famine says he doesn't have the not natty traps. Yeah, dude. Okay, when you see somebody who's not natty, guys, I'll tell you guys the secret to telling if somebody's not natty. Okay, a man's chest, shoulders, and trapezius muscles have more androgen receptors than the rest of their bodies. So if they take steroids, they're gonna get those 3D pumpkin deltoids. You see that? And like the chances are that the guy is not natty, because that's like the first giveaway. Is they get that like puffy, they look like a child drew a cloud, you know what I'm saying? Like a cartoon cloud is what their silhouette looks like. That's how you can tell if somebody's not natty. Or I'm just jealous of those 3D deltoids. You take your pick. Dylan Pearson, what's good, Eric? Not too much, Dylan. We're hanging out. I'm a little bit loopy today, so we're having a lot of fun. Steve Famine says, I'm Steve. I have another friend, Big Steve, that is our friend group's resident NPC bodybuilder that competes. So, is NPC, do you mean non-player character, or do you mean, is NPC an organization that's like a natural one? Is he a natural bodybuilder? Steve Famine says, lifters look at other dudes' traps, forearms, and see if they have imaginary lat syndrome / flex their traps. Eric, I got the same silhouette as you, but I'm a roofer. Word. National Physique Committee is NPC. Yeah, okay, that's. I didn't think you meant like he doesn't have a soul and he just has like a few lines of dialogue. But you never know these days. Okay, guys, next step, I'm going to do some lone oil on this guy's armor. Bring out some of those lines of definition, because it's going to make this armor look pretty cool. Andrew Fairbanks says, all of you are NPCs compared to me. Yeah, you know, Andrew Fairbanks, when you're not tuned into the stream, it's just silent in here. We were all just waiting for you to tune in, because you're the main character, dude. I'll probably get in trouble for telling you that, but it's the truth. God Convoy says, I can tell Eric has been getting into working out, heavy on the weight and lots of reps for traps. No, I do not exercise my traps. If I exercise my traps, my neck gets so stiff that I get like tension headaches. You know, I used to powerlift a lot before I injured my back, and I've been getting back into the gym, and honestly I just skip leg day now, guys. I can't. But I've been doing some bench press, doing some chin-ups, and punching the punching bag, which is really good. You know, it helps. It really helps. You know, work out those problems in life. When you're just feeling frustrated, and rather than just letting it seep into your mood, you know, just go to the gym, punch the punching bag, lift some weights, and then you can be relaxed and happy about the rest of your life. That's how I look at it, and it seems to work for me. Have a little outlet like that. That's the Sigma male grind set, am I right? Steve Famine says, you moved to New Jersey? Yes, I did move to New Jersey, and all of a sudden, okay, when I lived in Brooklyn, I was a big guy in Brooklyn, okay? Now that I'm in New Jersey, I'm the skinniest, like, wimpiest little guy at the gym. Everybody's like, you know, train hard, eat clean, and never stop, you know? Like, these guys are just monsters. Thick monsters. But it's good. It motivates me. Motivates me a little bit. You see kids that are like obviously in high school with like Hulk Hogan arms and stuff, and you're like, you know what? I can do another set. Steve Famine says, I took EC Stack mostly for wrestling. To be honest, all I know about that stuff is from memes. Like, I don't know a thing about performance enhancing drugs. I've never taken any, believe it or not. I just never have. And you know, I've been asked, like when I used to train jiu-jitsu and stuff, guys would sometimes ask me if I'm natural. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, of course I am. I don't even train regularly. It would be the height of insanity to take this as casually as I do and then also take like a serious stack of some kind. Like, that'd be just bananas. But so it makes me wonder, like, because I think I got pretty good genetics for like lifting and stuff. So if I were to, you know, leave humanity behind, I wonder where I could get to. I'm too old now to ever know, but you know, it's fun to speculate. It's fun to speculate. Hey Eric, any good plan to get some Vallejo paints in New York? So far, I didn't find any shop. I think actually Toyota VP Maplewood Hobbies has some. But I can't be sure. But call ahead. They're in New Jersey, by the way, not New York. But I think that's where I got this Vallejo air paint that I'm using, that I used for this armor. So, so yeah, I would definitely recommend checking them out. They definitely have a good selection. And I think actually Hobby Lobby has Vallejo paints too. Steve Famine says 5% Rich Piana. Exactly, Steve. Let me show you something fun. Okay, my in Necromunda, my Goliath gang is called the 5%ers, and this thing's broken. But you can see this piece here that I did in the collaboration with Gert. Like what I did, like you can see they tagged it down on the bottom there. It's broken, but you see that 5% in yellow? That's my Goliath gang, the 5%ers, leaving their mark. Yo, honestly, I probably would have never started a YouTube channel if it wasn't for Rich Piana. I used to watch his videos all the time, and it was one of those things where, if I'm honest, I started out watching them like ironically, like, look at this meathead, look at this idiot, you know, and then I just slowly started to really like the guy and like really enjoy the content, and yeah, rest in peace to Rich Piana, because he was great. He was really great. Berserker Brian says Hobby Lobby has ancient artifacts of Gilgamesh. Yeah, I was reading about that. Somebody in my last video, my last build video where I did the peasant cottages and I used the fur for the roof. I said that I got that fur at Hobby Lobby, and people are like, Hobby Lobby's the worst. You know, you got to look it up. And then I looked it up, and it's like they bought like 10,000 artifacts from the Middle East that were like conflict artifacts or something, and all I could think about was Indiana Jones going, "It belongs in a museum." It's like fighting on the boat with the rain pouring down, and the owner of Hobby Lobby holding some like golden Lamassu or something like that. But that's just my sick brain. Satari Pantheon said, Eric, I thought you were from Sweden / living in Sweden. You must be thinking of Squidmar. He's the more handsome, taller version of me with the bigger channel. God Convoy says those Goliaths must have broken that pipe. You know what? Actually, that reminds me, I'm watching this, or sorry, not watching, but I'm reading this Underhive anthology, and it starts with a novella that's like from the perspective of an Escher gang, and they're beefing with this Goliath gang, and things are just starting to heat up where I am in it. So you made me think about that, and I want to keep reading, but probably won't be till quite late tonight because I got a lot to do. Steve Famine, I'm 5'10", king of manlets. That's rough, dude. You know, I heard that the 2021 manlet cutoff is actually 6'4", so I'm right there with you. Satari Pantheon says, I thought you were Squidmar's older buff brother, Sad Panda. No, I think Emel's actually like a year or two older than me. But no relation to Squidmar. It's just a friend. I like Squidmar a lot. Cool guy. And he had a new video today too, actually. Berserker Brian says, imagine not being an average 6'6". Well, yeah, you know, 6'6". I guess you're tall for now, but 6'6" in 2024, that'll be under the manlet cutoff. So enjoy it while you can. Enjoy it while you can. Steve Famine says, you're 6 foot zone, right? I'm 6 foot 2 inches. So I'm, yeah. I always have guys that are like 5 inches shorter than me come up and be like, well, I'm 6 feet, so you must be like 6'5". It's like, no, dude, you're just not 6 feet tall. I don't know what to tell you. Dave Jelly says, hello everybody from an old German guy. Hey Dave, welcome to the chat. Old is just a mindset, right? Tin Penny Workshop says, hey man, love your content, really inspired me to start terrain building and sculpting. I'm glad. That's what I'm here for. We can inspire each other, guys, and push it farther, push this hobby farther. You know, even I talked about this before, but this just even in the last couple years, this hobby has just exploded in terms of the level that people are making. Like, it used to be pretty rare to see decent terrain, and now you see just amazing terrain everywhere. Guys, if you haven't checked out Steve Famine's channel, go check it out. He's a good terrain guy. Guys like Narb coming onto the scene, and it all started with guys like, you know, Black Magic Craft just showing all these accessible techniques to people, and that's what it's about. It's about inspiring each other and pushing it forward, guys. And it's fun to be a part of it. Morgan Hare says, hello, Eric. Caden Kenzie says, Big Chungus? Thoughts? I don't know what that means. I take it that's a meme of some kind, but not really sure. Crazy Crafter said, Eric, you've been streaming for several weeks now. What are you enjoying most about streaming? I don't know, just the banter. Just going back and forth. I used to paint on Sundays with my brother, who was in the chat a little bit earlier, but might have gone because he's a busy boy. And we used to, you know, just hang out and hobby together, and this is what it kind of feels like. Like, so much of what I do now, like, I love the times, there are times when I'm in a mood to hobby solo, and that can be really nice. But there are also times when it's nice to, you know, chat and laugh and joke around while you hobby too. So that's what, I feel like these streams are kind of putting that back into my life a little bit, and I really like it. It's really fun. You guys come in here and we joke around and talk about, you know, dreams and phobias and everything, and it's a good time. It's a good time. It actually makes it makes it feel more like I feel like more in touch with the community. You know what I mean? Like when people comment on my YouTube videos, that's great and everything, but it's like static. There's no back and forth. You know, there's no like live component to that. So I like the live chat with people who share my interests. Caden Kenzel says, I want to start painting YouTube as I do commissions, but I also don't know if I should. Um, yeah, well, Caden, the things to keep in mind are that YouTube is in of itself a time-consuming thing. So balancing that with the commissions, if that's going to cause extra stress for you, is something to consider. Um, it can be a source of revenue, but it can also just be not profitable at all and a big time sink. And you just need to decide if you're willing to put in a lot of extra work for nothing, because that might be what happens. And I would say if you feel like you have something to add that you don't see in the space, then that's a good reason to start a channel. But if you just feel like you want to, you know, just be part of something and document you painting, then I don't know. It all depends on your reasons. All depends on your reasons and what you think you could do. But you know, if you believe in yourself, you can do anything you want. And if you do end up starting one, then please send me a link to it because I'll check it out. Morgan Hare donated $5 in the chat. Awesome. So the super chat is working. I love it. Thank you, Morgan. How is your day going, Eric? I'm so glad to have caught this stream. I missed the last one because of work. My day's going pretty good, Morgan. It's actually picked up quite a bit. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm painting a Bretonnian Night, and things are looking up. I was ranting a little bit at the beginning of the stream about how I thought I poisoned myself last night, and maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but we're bouncing back, baby. And so thank you very much for your donation. I really appreciate that. If the rest of you guys want to check if the donation button is working, you can always, you know, throw a little donation in there just to see if it's working, just to help out the channel, you know, do a little technical, what's the word I'm looking for? I poisoned myself. I don't have a full grasp of the English language today. But thank you very much, Morgan. I appreciate it a lot. Galaxy Loft says, beat the devil out of it. Yeah, that's, maybe I should mute the edge of my water bottle here, because that's what he's referencing. For those of you who don't know, is Bob Ross used to have a thing that he would clean his paintbrush and whack away on it, and he'd say, you know, you got to beat the devil out of it. And so every time you hear that sound, it's not the dinner bell, that's me cleaning my paintbrush in this plastic jar. So thank you for the Bob Ross reference. I appreciate that. Laura S says, what time is it where you are? It is 1:58 p.m. In New Jersey. Tom Roberts says, so are you not going to do videos anymore, Eric? Au contraire, Tom. I know it's been a little while since I posted one, but I have some really big, really good videos that are right on the cusp. They're coming soon, but I am absolutely going to do long format videos anymore. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do bad videos anymore. Not that I ever did bad videos, but no, I'm absolutely going to keep doing videos. I know it's been has it been 3 weeks since my last one? Damn, I see why you're asking, but no, I am going to. Captain Nugget with the super chat, $2. You dropped this. Thank you, King. Appreciate that. That's very cool. Captain Nugget, I'm just assuming you're male because the channel is like 96% male when I look at the analytics, but regardless of what you are, I appreciate your support a lot. Very, very cool. Thank you. VG Craft said, hey Eric, what happened to your ramen build? Did you eat it? No, I did not. I never would do that. It's so much super glue in there and paint. That would be really bad. But one of my patrons was showing me that they were using the ramen method as well for a road they were making. So, oh shoot, that reminds me. I forgot to post. In my Discord, I have a thing where I post to tell my patrons that I'm going live. And I just completely forgot to do that. Guys, I know I give off the impression that I'm really organized, and but you know, sometimes things slip through the cracks. I know I seem like Captain Nugget. Yeah, he is a male. All right. Nice. God Convoy says it's been 84 years. Is that you saying it's been 84 years since I posted a video? First of all, don't appreciate it. Second of all, the reason why is, listen, I'm just a free spirit. I don't let any, big tech put their finger in my face and tell me when I have to post just because they're gaslighting me with negative messages in my YouTube Studio app. I ignore that. I drown that out. I'm an artist. I have my own process, and I'm charging up. I'm going to post a burst of really sexy videos, and it's going to be great. And I certainly haven't been sitting around doing nothing. That's one thing I can tell you. Okay, I've got, but I'm not. I don't like to compromise my videos just to have one every week, if that makes sense. Maybe it makes sense at some level as a YouTuber. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, but you know what? I just got to do things the way they make sense to me. What else can I do? Tin Penny Workshop says, hey, what are your thoughts on Citadel paints versus cheapo hobby store paint? Not excited to dump $40 on a set. Honestly, I'm not the right guy to ask about paint alternatives and stuff because I am a GW shill. I have a whole bunch of Games Workshop paints, and the only one that I don't use, the only non-GW paint I use is this Vallejo. And it's really good. So if you want to use alternative paints, maybe Vallejo is an option. Craft store paints, not great. When I was a kid, I used to paint with these acrylic paints that my mom had because she used to paint on canvases, and they would peel, and it was really frustrating. I remember I painted an orc boy and the skin was peeling off. So I've been hesitant to use non-GW paints since then, which is probably not smart or whatever, but it is what it is, man. I don't even know if I answered your question. I'm on a roll today, you guys. It depends on what you're thinking about using other than GW paints. It's certainly possible to do. I think all the best painters don't even use GW paints. Certainly possible to use alternatives. Can I tell you exactly what? I don't know. Plaid PVC Pipe says, you give off the impression that you have ADHD, LMAO. Well, armchair psychologist, get out of my head. How about that? That's all I'm going to say about that. Tom Roberts says, you and BMC are my favorites. Never miss your vids. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. Lofty company to be put in. Jeremy's a legend. Jeremy is a legend. And we're both Canadian too, eh? You probably knew that. But Canada is, we have extremely high density of high quality terrain makers, and I'm trying to figure out what that's attributed to. Why that would be the case. Anyone have any theories? Something in the water, perhaps? Something not in the water? VG Craft says, how often do you lick your brush? Whenever I need to, dude. What I'm doing is I'm trying to put a paint on it. It's not like a weird. I'm trying to put a point on it. It's not like a tick or something. It's not like I like the taste. The other way you can do it if you're not trying to poison yourself is see this crack here in your hand. You can put your brush in there. Put the point on it like that. You can see this brush is trashed. But imagine this was like a normal brush that can be put into a point. Levi Smith says, horrible winters with nothing else to do. And you might be right about that. Kits Creek Hobby says, I use Ammo by Mig, but Mig Jimenez is a buddy and he sends me free loot all the time. Well, Kits Creek Hobbies, you tell your friend Mig that if he wants to promote his products on my channel, that I've been looking for a weathering powder provider, but I don't know who to go with, so. Steve Famine donated $5. Thank you, Steve. Eric, since I'm oddly close to you now, we should get a game in. I'm going to PAX over in Philly in November. We're meeting up with some others as well. Hell yeah, man. Send me a private message. Sounds like fun. Thank you for the donation, by the way. Really appreciate that. Plaid PVC Pipe says, I have inattentive ADHD and the way you do hobby stuff just reminds me of myself, just without the extreme procrastination. Without the extreme procrastination. That's rich. Dude, I am one of the worst procrastinators in the world. Or maybe one of the best. I'm a world-class procrastinator. That's how I would put it. One of the worst procrastinators in the world or one of the best. It's all a state of mind, right? Steve Famine says Narb is mildly triggered at pay for his patron. You don't need to pay, but here's $1. I don't know what to say about that, but I'm sure at some level, as a creator, Narb appreciates the support. And Narb is one of those guys that sometimes I don't understand like how he's able to do things so quickly. Like he seems to be a real whiz at 3D modeling kind of out of nowhere, and it's like, damn, it's impressive. Like I don't know if you guys should go watch Narb's most recent video where he collabed with some of the with Frankie D Crafter and Dungeon Masterpiece, and they made some stuff out of like the idea of the D&D Tarrasque. And I'm not a super huge D&D guy, but I guess the Tarrasque is like a kaiju type apocalyptic monster, and so they did a collab where they each sort of did a take on it. And Narb had this footage in his video where he's like, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it, like virtual reality. He's sculpting in virtual reality where you just see these like disembodied hands, like when you fight the brain in Star Fox 64, you just see these like hands coming at you, and then there's like, you know, legs being crafted in 3D cyberspace. It was really weird, but like it looked really high tech and impressive. And yeah, I don't know where that came from, but it was really cool. Talented guy. Kids Creek Hobby says, Eric, where should I contact you off here? Eric Hobby Workshop at gmail.com. All one word. Why don't I just type in the chat? It's right in front of me. Eric's Hobby Workshop at gmail.com. There it is. Historic Life says, I'm using Mig's Streaking Grime. It's good stuff. Yeah, these enamel washes and weathering powders, I think they're like a level up from the stuff I've been doing, and I really want to go that direction. That stuff looks really, really cool. So I've been trying to dip my toe into it, but every time I go on there, like, it's kind of like an intimidating amount of products, and I have a tendency to sort of get a little overstimulated and put it off. Captain Nugget says, I just want to say I stumbled across your channel and I love the content. Keep up the hard work. Thanks very much, man. I appreciate that. Heck yeah. Kids Creek Hobby says, Mig will 100 hook you up. That's wicked, man. I'm excited about that. That's really cool. Look at that, guys. I'm networking in the chat here, doing business deals, big time business deals while hanging out with you guys. Isn't that fun? But yeah, no, please contact me, and I'd love to play around with some of those products. So please put in a good word for them, for me. Steve Famine says he went from doing all right tabletop quality, and he is hyper creative, like a sponge with techniques. Are we talking about Narb still? Yeah, hell yeah, man. Narb's good. Narb's I think he's from Toronto too, right? Like what I was saying, the Canadian crafter scene, man. I don't know, something special about that. Tom Roberts says, gotta go. It's been fun interacting with you. Hope things continue well for you. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Guys, do you notice that I'm doing that today? Normally I can read out loud pretty well, but today I'm stumbling over my words. Somebody document this for my eventual class action suit against Super Sculpey. Because clearly, they've done something. I almost forgot I've been holding a model this whole time. So guys, what color should I do the horse? Let me know in the chat. And of course, please use real horse terms like piebald, chestnut, and I don't actually know. Let's do a little little lesson in horse colorings. Is anybody like a horse expert? Horse colorings. Equine coat colors. That would be a better way of saying it. And let's pull up a window for you guys. Window capture. New window capture. Hope I don't show anything weird on. There we go. You guys can see horse colorings. What are we thinking here, guys? Did I just lag everything to the blue blazes? Might have done. Might have done. Aqua Shop, premium horse equipment. That's cool. Here we go. Here we go. We got Dun, we got Bay. Alright, guys. So where do I put this thing? Up here, maybe. What are we thinking? Let me know in the chat. Anybody have any opinions to share? I think we can ignore yellow dun, red dun, palomino, buckskin dun, gold amber, perlino, cremello, all those ones that won't contrast well with the yellow. And I think black bay is probably out too. Maybe bay roan. What do you guys think? Blue roan? Ooh, I like blue roan. Yeah, nice gray. God Convoy, what's that hentai thing in your search? Nice try, God Convoy. Nice try. Although you can't see my downloads there at the bottom. Man, I gotta be careful with this sort of stuff, eh? Tobiano cow horse. Tobiano. Which one's Tobiano? I don't see it. What's wrong with me? Oh, there. Oh, that one that's like a cow. Yeah, I don't know about that, guys. Like if I'm keep in mind, I plan to do black and yellow for this caparison. So this whole thing is going to be black and yellow. So it should be something that contrasts well with black and yellow. I'm going to hold this little piece of foam core up so you can envision some of it being black. Blue roan. Blue roan seems to have some support from Morgan Hare. Dun is cool. Dun's not bad, I agree. Yellow dun. No. I think blue roan is kind of the front runner. I like kind of like dapple gray. I think that's kind of cool looking. Kids Creek Hobbies just said dapple gray. Ben says the one that looks like a cow. Sabino looks interesting. Sabino's a little bit cow-like as well. I think we're going to do blue roan, guys. Although the thing about blue roan is the face is so dark. And I don't know if that's every horse is blue roan has a dark face like that. Blood Bay. Ooh, Blood Bay's pretty nice. Yeah, it's like a reddish. I think that would look good. Okay, I'm narrowing it down to be between Blue Roan and Blood Bay, guys. Final votes in the chat. Blue Roan or Blood Bay? Blue Roan or Blood Bay? Final votes in the chat. I'm going to close this out here. It makes me uncomfortable when you guys can see my windows. We got Dapple Gray, Blood Bay, Dapple, Rose Gray, Blood Bay. You guys didn't follow the rules. Blue Roan, Blood Bay, Blue Roan. Damn, it's like 50-50. Blood Bay contrasts well with yellow. Laura, you make a good argument. It does contrast well with the yellow. Blood Bay for the Blood God. Alright. It's like 50-50 here right now. There's got to be a way to do like a formal poll, isn't there? What is this? Create a poll. Alright, guys. Blue, Roan, or Blood Bay. It's too close, guys. I'm making an actual poll. I didn't realize I could do this, but we're doing it. Blood Bay. Okay, I'm asking the community, guys. Kids Creek Hobby says, check your email, Eric. Thank you very much for emailing me. I'm not going to check it on stream. I'll check it later on and get back to you. But thank you for that. Yeah. Is the poll live? Can you guys see the poll? Where did it go? Can only people who aren't me seeing it? Is everything frozen? Did I freeze it by... Oh, there we go. There's the poll. Poll's live now. Blood Bay winning 57%. 64%. Is it frozen? Seems to be doing okay. Blood Bay looks like it's winning. Votes being cast. Democracy in action. Wait, why did you say nope, Kids Creek Hobbies? Can you not see the poll? Is there only one option? Why can't I see... Can you guys confirm that you can see both Blue Roan? Oh my gosh. Technical difficulties. Blood Bay, oh my god, Blood Bay is starting to lose ground to Blue Roan. Said nope to it being locked. Blue Roan is making a comeback, boys. Let's go. Yeah, it is making a comeback. This is actually, this is more contentious than I expected, but it was pretty... What is going on? How much of a lag is this stream on? It seems like it's way, way behind. Why am I having so much trouble with this today, guys? Kids Creek Hobby says add Dapple Gray. No, you know what? If you want Dapple Gray, then you gotta vote for Blue Roan. And I'll just dapple it a little bit anyways. So all you Dapple Gray supporters, vote for Blue Roan. Man, okay, the stream is like 3 minutes behind me. That's kind of freaking me out. Vesper D says I got a roll. Laura S, you make a good point about the Blue Roan looking washed out. The thing is, I can saturate it extra with with like some blue glaze or something, and actually make it a little bit more blue. This is what we're voting on, by the way, for those of you who are brand new to the chat. It's this thing here. God Convoy says, are you using multiple monitors? Yes, I am. That's why I keep looking over here. But my phone just like spazzed out big time. Trying not to freak out. But what can I say? I mean, I've lost my camera here, guys. Kind of embarrassing. Kind of embarrassing. Blood Bay is too basic. Go Blue Roan. It's pretty contentious here. Pretty contentious. Okay, you know what? In 30 seconds, I'm going to call the poll over, and whoever's winning wins. Amdor says F. Is it that bad? Yeah. Yeah, it's that bad. My phone's crapped out. I don't know how I can keep painting. It's extra stressful when it happens live, guys. And I don't know really off the top of my head if I should just try to keep the stream going and act normal or try to troubleshoot it. So I'm frozen in a state of not knowing what to do. When the stream's going great, it's like hanging out with friends. When it's going badly, it's like a bad dream where you're presenting in front of a bunch of people and you're naked. Welcome to my life. Morgan Harris says, it's okay, Eric. It happens to all men eventually. Oh, thank you. You... God Convoy says, maybe it's your graphics card or processor having issues, but the stream is fine on this side. When you mean on this side, like... So, the camera that pointed at me, I think is still working fine, right? But the camera that's pointing at my models has crapped out, and it's because it says there's not enough system memory. The phone is like red hot to the touch. I was using my phone on this rig up here, guys, and it gave me an error message, and and it's not responding right now. So yeah, we're doing it live. What if I hold it up here like this? Is that, we can do it, No, that's too much. That's too much. Abort. I'm going to keep it over here for a moment. And, yeah. So who won? Blood Bay won, guys. We're doing a Blood Bay. And I'll just keep showing you my progress every moment or two until we get the other camera back online. You know what I really need? I need somebody who runs the tech while I do this. Like I'm jealous of Eons of Battle. They got 2 guys, you know? Maybe I can clone myself. Because, okay, hang on. So, here's my thoughts for the Blood Bay. What I'm going to do, and this is just maybe really stupid. What I'm doing now is really stupid, by the way. You guys can see what I'm doing? So this is a Citadel paint pot that's not closing properly. So I've turned the lid inside out, okay? And now that it's inside out, I can peel this thing, this crispy piece of dried contrast paint, gone. And now the lid closes flush once again. That, guys, is how you let your paints not dry out. Or rather, don't let your paints dry out. Just like that. So, yeah. we're losing some viewers over the technical difficulties, but thank you, real ones, for sticking in with me. Fred Bednarski says needs to cool down probably. You can paint and then show us progress every now and then. Bob Ross was a one cam wonder. You got this, so we'll just keep on chatting. Hooray, Blood Bay. Thank you for the support, guys. Restart the stream. Go fix your overhead cam. I don't think so. I think we're just doing it live, man. So, as I was saying, we're going to start with some snakebite leather, and then we're going to glaze some red colors on here because we're going Blood Bay. All right. And maybe in a moment here, we'll get this camera back up running. I'm really sorry about this, guys. What happens if I... Shame. Okay, we're going snakebite leather and then we're going to glaze. And we'll keep chatting. Pretend that nothing is wrong. Charles Cornell still says Blue Roan. You know what? This thing about Bretonians is we can do Blue Roan on another unit where it looks good, right? I think, sorry, I can't remember who it was who was saying that the contrast won't be as good, but I think they're right. So we'll do Blue Roan. We'll do Blue Roan on one that it looks better. And for now, we're doing Blood Bay. But we will definitely make Blue Roan make an appearance on another night. Let me know in the chat, Blue Roan folks, what you think, what colors would go well with the Blue Roan. Because we can do a night in those colors. A different night. Lulz guy says if the phone was under a light, you might need a fan to try to keep it cool. Yeah, I think my air conditioner is off right now, and I can't go upstairs and turn it off without the stream being even more of a meltdown than it already is. It's like, I remember someone once telling me, guys, that laughing is sometimes a involuntary reaction when you're feeling that you're glad that something isn't happening to you. So that's why, like, seeing like a wipeout or something is funny, or like certain awkward situations are funny sometimes, as long as they're not happening to you. Like watching, Larry David just do something so socially inappropriate is funny because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not in that social situation. You're feeling that sense of gratitude that's not happening to you. In which case, what I'm trying to say is this stream must be hilarious because I'm suffering. Okay, here's the first update of Blood Bay coming in. As you can see, I'm using contrast paints again. And let me see if I can change the light here a little bit so you can... Anyways, we're getting there. We're getting there. In a second, I'm going to try the camera again. Camera's still crapped out, but we're making do with this. You know what I'm going to say this is for? Is this huge area of black screen over here. It's like going on dark mode, It's for the environment, guys. It's for the environment. We're keeping the screen, large chunk of the screen, dark for the environment because we care. Blue Roan on a red or green, maybe? I think red, actually. Red would go well with a Blue Roan, I think. Plaid PVC Pipe says it's not hilarious since we're all part of the stream. Well, that makes me feel worse, but that's okay. Yeah. What can I say, guys? It's just one of those days. You guys know the song Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit? That's the song that's playing in my head right now. Can you put the camera on the right? Chat covers you on full screen. Hey, here's a little innovation for you. Thank you for mentioning that, Laura S. And Laura S is the one who was a big advocate of Blood Bay, and so I think you're right, Laura, that this is the way to go for this particular model. We're gonna add a little bit more blood to this, but I'm liking how it's looking so far. You just have to take my word for it. Let's check the phone again. Oh, guys, we're coming back. Did I speak too soon? Did I freeze everything? So embarrassing. Now I can't even figure out why it's not working. At least I knew why it wasn't working before. Damn, guys. Damn. Okay, guys, this is getting crazy. Sorry, guys. Laura S says streams are like printers. They sense fear and stop working at the worst possible time. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? This is like really... I'm sweating here, guys. You guys are watching me have an absolute crisis in real time. This is insane. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, guys. I love the idea of people who have just tuned in and just see like just absolute dysfunction just immediately. You know what? We're going to chalk this one up to a learning experience. I'm moving back to the right side of the screen. We're in dark mode for the environment. We'll go with that narrative and we'll keep on painting. Try not to think about everything melting down around us. Kids Creek Hobbies, I did actually just briefly restart the stream. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's, you know, it's possible that all the technical difficulties are actually on your end, guys. So maybe it's you. Fred Bednarski said, yep, I had some lag as well. You might want to put some cooling in the house because it seems the CPUs are throttling from the heat. Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, you know what? We're coming up on 2 hours. Things are melting down, literally and figuratively. I think these lights are producing heat. The air conditioning's off upstairs. We're going to end this one ignominiously in disgrace. Thank you all for tuning in and bearing with me as for the painful demise of this stream. Thank you guys who donated in the super chat. I really appreciate that. We will be back. We'll be back stronger. We'll be back with better technological capabilities, and John Hanlon says YouTube censors. You know, you're probably right. I'm probably being kept down by big tech. This is probably nothing to do with me. This is probably, you know, so really, this is nothing. Really, I'm the victim here, guys. I'm the victim. I'm being held down by big tech. Sometimes the little guy just gets squished by the big guy. What can you say? You know, I appreciate you guys all tuning in. And we'll be back bigger and better than ever. And keep fighting that good fight. Slay that gray. Happy crafting. And thanks, guys. We'll see you next time on Eric's Hobby Workshop.